Walking uphill against the wind in the stormy weather, the summit may seem a mirage. Windy and complex it is, facing the obstacles, making a virtue of a necessity. Difficult to understand, difficult to travel, difficult to maintain in the correct spirit. Radiating it with positivity, making that path that began and that was lost remain a beginning. Only one thought in our mind, enlightenment.
Clairvoyance and brain vision are related, the ability to see in the present and future events that affect our lives. It's not just about images, but also people's thoughts images, therefore fictitious images. The point is that all it has to do with evil, done to us or to someone close to us, therefore involved in the question, associated with a function of the immune defense system operated by our brain. Every supernatural power has its own trick. The secret, the trick for this supernatural power is not particularly articulated. We've been able to ascertain that the ability to visualize images is related to the purity of the spirit of the subject, a continuous condition of homeostasis of the body and mind that can be achieved with a meditative state. The most common case in which this condition can happen is in phase 1 of sleep. Before falling asleep, our mind is in the most optimal condition for this phenomenon to develop. Meditation, therefore, to guarantee us this experience of brain vision beyond the barrier of darkness. Images in the mind at times through lucid dreams, premonitors of events, facts that could have occurred, explain more useful details to interpret to improve our living. In the case of brain vision, the subject has the ability to maintain an energetically high mind, clean, crystalline, and rarely clouded by the negative, by the barrier of darkness. Negative energy that reaches us from the moment we have a negative thought. The problem of a pure mind is that sometimes teletrons or alternating spheres are formed. Both the frontal and prefrontal area are continuously stimulated by energy. You might feel ecstatic due to the energies collected and forming in the brain. This is linked to a qualitative lifestyle, an always positive style of thinking, which leads you to this continuous stimulation, to the production of a positive, fibrillating energy, which allows you to ward off the negative, guarantees these same images. Watching on the other side of the wall, how if not using the mind? That's how you realize the frontal area of the brain is working for that purpose. Madness for some, for others supernatural power. An abnormal paranormal condition such as seeing images precisely is attributable to these awakened areas of the brain, trained for that purpose. Areas that would rest if we really want to accomplish this retrofront from the supernatural, they can be blocked. In the case of the brain vision, a deep work in the way of thinking, and especially in breathing, will facilitate the normalization of the brain. Breathe deeply through your nose to fill the brain with oxygen and carbon dioxide, therefore energy no longer pure. This will prevent the formation of alternating spheres, blocking and normalizing the areas of the brain electrified by this pure energy and alternating spheres. A composition of energy atoms close to each other to reproduce images simultaneously with the energies of the place where the action is taking place. Images sometimes observable in the environment, sometimes in our mind, clear, defined images. The explanation has to do with pain, with evil. Evils, generally speaking, have the ability to spark up our mind. Which evils exactly? Or evils to our body, whether light or intense, that our body recognizes in the pain threshold as harmful to ourselves, causing antibodies to intervene in defense of our organism, and the need, let's specify the need, especially if psychologically alarmed by what surrounds us, to allow more easily the activation of this organ and see what's causing us this annoyance. Clearly, it is not a continuous seeing images to the point of impede or disturb the life of the supernatural subject, but stretches of actions, flash images, and if we manage to remain completely calm, stretches of more or less long images, just before these energies normalize or get drawn to one side or the other by the steady subject conquered. The reason why these energies turn on must be deemed really valid by our brain, or simply by us having a curious intention of watching. The vision of images can be accompanied by sounds and even smells. Our senses therefore open to receiving this information. Not only images, but also other senses are involved in the brain vision. The mind, focusing on the image, attentive to the stimuli from the environment, focus on the facts, also receive the sounds, distinguishing them from those of the environment surrounding us. Generally, evils that lead up, internal to our body, but also external, so it occurs to have brain vision. The third eye that is activated, evil remains the incipient of this phenomenon. Our brain effectively visualizes the evil which derives from a personal offense, a bad thought of someone in our direction, or an internal or external evil antigen to us, so it can be those other humans acting against us or just evilness in a bad way. The brain vision visualizes it involuntarily in the case of antigen on our common or instinctively can choose to attack it with antibodies, the energies from antibodies or energies moved in the environment as well, hitting the evil until by destroying its energies the evil is annihilated. Teletrons. This is how the third eye is activated. It's not a permanent vision but a spotting. However, if skilled and prepared to do so, able to see it clearly, to follow the images, especially if the body is healthy, healed, undisturbed by teletrons, we have the ability to follow different situations, watch them on the big screen of our brain. This is because if we're already committed to seeing the images that torment us from the inside our body, and maybe with many of them, we cannot simultaneously see what is outside. Brain vision does not work simultaneously with other images. The third eye is for when we try to observe with the frontal part of our brain, trying to understand where the stimulus, voice or smell come from, or when we perceive evil gradually getting energies to the brain on this brain area, the third eye grows. Moreover, a way to grow our third eye consists in the conquest of energies, focusing on this area of the brain, the frontal area. The brain vision opens to a view of people, subjects who are particularly doing evil towards us. Agitation rises in our body and a sort of conflict is generated with the other subject. To this point, one of the two loses energy and with it drags the third eye, energy to vitalize our brain, which grows according to this ability. This if you really are aiming at conquering third eye. It's not that we're always aware that we have it, we often spot what's evil but the mind can view it clearly. We might focus on the evil target but we can't see it, as it is very likely that the third eye has not been developed and that the barrier of darkness clouds our mind. As we have already said, it has a lot to do with a person's lifestyle. On the other side, for who can do it, we can say that these visualizing images can create disturbances. For who does not want this phenomenon to develop and must live with it. Even repetitive images watched from a monitor, intoxicating smells which obsess the mind to the point that random images after viewing them appear in our mind and it is not clear how and if this is related to hallucination and their nature. As to how things stand are considered a principle of activation of this organ. It can be said that the third eye is a sort of blessing, a key conquered over time. You don't have to fear to losing it due to some conflict lost, so your mind continuously develops it, and sooner or later, as often happens, the energies return. Mind what you think, mind what you do. You might be able to escape normal eyes, but not the third eye. Someone is always watching. Ever heard of? A paranormal phenomenon linked to brain vision is glass talking, speaking and saying words that are not intentional and that come from those who through brain vision, using our sense of sight, come and speak, thus exploiting us as transmitters. Highly convinced of your mind ability, let the images flow in your mind. Flow and not force. Don't get excited and let the images flow. They will take you everywhere, living, watching the world while you're doing meditation with other eyes.